Oh, how I regretted doing that night. I regretted what I done so hard. It started out like an ordinary morning. Changing, breakfast, playtime. Today, while no one was looking, I explored my surroundings. I found a weird panel that looked out of place. Using a crowbar to pry it open, I found 4 dial turners with numbers over them. The brown dial was set to 5, the blue and yellow ones were both 7, and the red one was only at 3. Just for the heck of it, I turned all the dials so that they were on 20. Novi, where are you? It's time for your bottle. I heard Bonnie calling for me. I quickly ran to the playroom, making sure no one saw where I came from. Ah, there you are. Don't run off like that. I was lifted from the ground pretty roughly this time. Bonnie hadn't been that rough with me since he had to spank me on night 2 for punching him in the face. He brought me into the den and had me wrapped in the swaddle blanket again before holding me in his lap and forcing the bottle into my mouth. There you go. Now drink every drop. I was living with these guys so I could only do what I was told, but why was he being so forceful? I didn't understand. The milk tasted a little funny. It didn't taste like it was bad, but something about it didn't taste right either. Judging by what happened yesterday with the pancakes, I wouldn't be surprised if they medicated my milk. Things seemed calm after I finished the milk though. Bonnie was a lot gentler with holding me. I guess I looked bored for a while because he slid his finger under my chin and started wiggling it. No. Stop that. It tickles. But he kept doing it. Then he set me face up on the floor and started tickling my feet. Not the feet. That's the worst spot. Then I could feel why he was tickling me. This fluffy jerk was trying to make me pee. And worse, he was winning. I tried to fight back the tickles but it was just too much. Finally I couldn't hold it any longer and I wet. A lot. I don't know where all of it even came from. Finally Bonnie stopped tickling me just to check my diaper. Good baby. Time for Changi. Of course he'd say something so damn embarrassing. Daddy's coming. Okay Freddy. First of all, that's what he said. Secondly, you just wanted to change me. They didn't even bother taking me to the changing table because I had soaked it so much they didn't want it leaking everywhere. So instead they place a bed liner under me to keep the carpeting clean. I stopped being embarrassed about getting my diaper changed after a wetting, but I wasn't prepared for the next part. You made a big wet, so for now, you're getting doubled up. So Freddy put one diaper on me, then took an endoskeleton finger and made 2 slashes into the padding before taping on the second one. Being double diapered felt strange. It was so thick I couldn't stand up and walk on my own. It's almost a good thing I didn't have to. They carried me everywhere I needed to be. At lunchtime I was put in the high chair again, but this time I had to be fed by Chica instead of myself. I don't know why she felt the need to hold my head in place for every bite she gave me, but at least it was my favorite pizza. Then I had finished eating and felt the need to wet again. Already. I just got changed. I figured since I was double diapered it'd be okay and not very noticeable, so I went, but I was wrong about it not being noticeable. I wet more than I thought I ever could, and to make things worse I felt a squish against my tush. Chica Pat checked me while my back was turned. Time for Mother Hen to call Papa Bear, she said in a somewhat demonic voice. I turned to face her and it was totally creepy. Her eyes were pitch black with white pinpricks. Something about seeing that made me very much afraid. I turned my butt and ran for it before she could snag me. I didn't even care where I was running. I just wanted to get away from her. And being doubled up made that very difficult without the wetting. I ended up face planting myself against Foxy's left leg. Oh lassie, yeah, running awful fast. What be the matter? There's something wrong with Chica. Her eyes and her voice became demonic as soon as she checked me. Oh. Lem see. And then I felt another squish. I don't think I like where this is going. My fears were well placed. I turned around to find Foxy's eyes also black with pinpricks. I don't really know why seeing that terrified me so much, but it did and I hightailed it out of there. I tried turning down a different hallway to get away from them but backed myself in a corner. Hehehe. Can't get away now lassie. Somehow all 4 of them found me. All their eyes the same, and their voices were horrifying to hear. The further I backed into the corner, the closer they walked towards me. Just as Freddy and Bonnie were about to grab me, they all stopped. Completely stopped. Guys. Are you okay? Don't be frightened. They're only rebooting. I saw Fredbear standing behind them with a look of both anger and concern. Simir Novali, I need to talk to you about some things. I didn't like what he meant by that, but I was glad that he wasn't acting demonic as the others were. He wrapped his arm around my shoulders and led me into the room that I saw earlier. First off, the dials on the panel. I don't even need to ask. I know it was you who set them all to 20. That panel controls the AI levels for my brothers and sister. Employees aren't even allowed to mess with them. Do you have any idea what could have happened to you if I hadn't reset them? No, Fredbear, I didn't. I was just curious as to what it did since it didn't exactly have a label. The phrase curiosity killed the cat exists for a reason, child. Now I realize you're already scared out of your mind right now, but I still need to punish you for what you did. I could only hang my head. I never realized I was hurting anyone. Okay, what are you gonna do? The punishment should fit the crime. Since you set all the dials to 20, I think 20 spankings is suitable. I suddenly remembered when Bonnie did it. He did it hard but only 3 times. Maybe he'll go a little easier with 20. Simon Youngin. I don't like this any more than you do. Let's just get it over with quickly. Fredbear took my hand and walked with me back to my room. He then took off my 2 soaking wet diapers and wiped me clean. I had wet myself again while I was running, and then sat in the rocking chair to turn me over his knee. Since I knew I deserved what I was getting, I didn't scream. I bit my lip and held it in. I was completely wrong about him being gentle with me just because there'd be 20 spanks, but even as he was counting them I could hear his voice crack. He did not want to do this at all. After the 20th there was a 5-second silence before I felt his paw patting my back. You can stand up now. You're finished. I jumped off his lap and winced from the stinging. Fredbear walked across the room to grab a diaper and powder. Then he walked over to me. He sprinkled the powder into the diaper and put it on me one tape at a time even though I was standing. Don't hide your tears from me, he said, rubbing my eyes with his thumb. You know you did wrong, but you're not in trouble anymore. You've had your punishment. I was then lifted up and taken to the bathroom where they kept the medicine cabinet. Fredbear grabbed a bottle and poured a red liquid into a small dose measuring cup. Here, it's an antidote for the diuretic they drugged you with earlier. He handed me the cup and I drank from it. It tasted like strawberries. Then he carried me back to my room and put me in the crib face down. You should sleep for now. Things will be normal again in the morning. They're gonna be mad at me tomorrow, aren't they? Actually no, they won't remember any of this. Don't worry about anything. Fredbear, how come you didn't have your own setting? Simply put, child, I'm the only one that can't be controlled. I come and go as I please. Fredbear covered me with a blanket and petted my head. Now go to sleep, little one. I'll be right here if you need a changing or a drink. I closed my eyes and heard his singing again, but this time I could hear it more clearly. Good night, Novali.